Hello. When I walk at this wooden path in Ozan National Park, today is September 23rd, and the park is high altitude wetlands. Altitude here is about 1,500 meters. So when I walk it here, my first impression is that I see skunk cabbage, typical American plant. I remember well when I was in a hotel nearby Boston. So these plants are growing all around me in wet places. However, it is not just correct. So there are two types of skunk cabbages. In Latin, they named Symplocarpus, the eastern skunk cabbage in America, and Lysichiton, the western skunk cabbage in America. Wonderful biogeographical thing is both Lysichiton and Symplocarpus grow in Japan. So this is interesting because normally, kind of crazily I would say, but normally we see Japanese species in eastern North America. And for Symplocarpus, this is correct. But for Lysichiton is not. So Lysichiton, like this one, grows in Japan and, well, as it should be logically, but rare. On the western North America, for example, I saw it in Washington state, around Seattle. So in Olympic National Park and many other places, in the wet places, you can see very similar Lysichiton. So both of them, Lysichiton and Symplocarpus, both skunk cabbages, belong to the Araceae family. And they are regarded in many books as poisonous, and in some books as edible. So where is the truth? Actually, truth is in both. They never ever should be eaten raw, because leaves, stems, rhizomes, tubers of Araceae are very rich of oxalate crystals, and they are extremely disturbing. So they can damage your skin and epithelium. If you chew it, there will be very long inflammation, which very slowly going away. However, if you boil it, and people who know it will boil it, or another way is kind of hot drying things. So when you hot dry or boil things from Araceae family, you found them edible. So many of them have large rhizomes, and they hope they have a good defense, because most of animals, for the same reason, do not eat them. But humans are a bit smarter, and they understand how to destroy these oxalate crystals and make these plants edible. So we cultivate many species of Araceae family which formerly are poisonous, which means again that never ever you should eat them raw. So plant will flower in the early spring, and this is one of the famous time in this Ozan National Park, flowering of Lysichiton. And today in September you can see fruits. We are kind of on a degrading stage. The fruits are now releasing seeds. Or actually better to say infructescences, because in Araceae family, flowers are very small, connected together in a tight inflorescence, covered with one big bract, which attracts insects. And, well, logically, everything should end up with infructescence. And you can see this infructescence today. Large leaves, while sitting in the water, will degrade for the fall time. Today is September 23rd, but many plants are in a stage which in the lowlands call October in Japan. So this is a preparation for the fall time. So plants will degrade, and then in the springtime, which came late here because this is a high altitude, so maybe like end of May, beginning of June, these plants start to regrow and flower immediately. So this is a skunk cabbage name because of pollination. So when pollinated, these plants are preferred to be pollinated with flies. And flies like very unpleasant odor. This is why name is skunk cabbage. Attractive flower, but maybe not so pleasant if you smell them. Anyway, interesting plant, grows here in Japan, and as an exception, again, exception, in Western North America. Lysichiton also grows in Eastern Russia and some other Asian places. Lysichiton in Japan on September 23rd. Thank you very much.